The House will come to order. Members will be in their seats. Okay, if everyone would please stand for the invocation, and I will be giving that. Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time we have to come together at this hallowed place in the State House to talk about concerns that are important to seniors in the state of Kansas. Pray that you would guide our thinking as we discuss these matters, and as the psalmist said, may the words of our mouth and the meditations of our heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. And please remain standing as we say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. The clerk will call the roll.
Good morning, delegates. I want to thank everybody for being here. And I will start with PSA 1, Sherry, Thomas, Elton, excused or by Zoom? Okay. Jacques. He's not up that early either. Yeah. Alfred. PSA 2, Leroy. Arnita. Michael. Myself, I'm here. Chuck. Charles is excused. PSA 3, Pam. Janice. Alan. Steve Watts. Roseanne. Darlene. Alfred. Anne. Esther. Lois. Terry. Eileen. PSA 4, Willard. Paula. Carolyn. Georgia. Dawn. PSA 6, Steve. Jim. Diana. Gail. Terry Malone. Terry Malone. Dorothy. Randy. And I need to make sure I have all of your information, Randy. Okay, thank you. Winona. Gail. Stephen. Sharon. Zoom, thank you. Stephanie. Jerome. Eloise. Zoom. PSA 7, Clarence. Ida. Lenora.
Present.
Thank you. Rogine. Dr. Jim. Melody. And I'm going to assume she's on by Zoom. She sent me an email yesterday that she was on by Zoom. I couldn't hear her. Okay. PSA 8, Janice. Sherry. Elizabeth. Frank. Mary Beth. Jay. Barbara. Jan Kimbrell. Daryl. Ross. Jay Kalman. Randall. Memory. Linda. Herb. We're into PSA 9. Gil. Joyce. Anna.
Present.
Thank you. Mary Tate. PSA 10, Ronnie. Jeanette Myers. Boyd. Jeanette. Kurt Watkins. Jim.
Here.
So, thanks so much. Now, even though the center of the verb.
Kurt Watkins, are you on by Zoom?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll jump right to it.
Jim. Shirley. Sharon. Leonard. PSA 11, Mary Calhoun. Mary Penrose. Norman. Thank you. Katie. David. David Wood. Gary. Thank you. That concludes our delegates. We have a quorum. And again, I've received the handouts from those that were in Committee 1. If anybody took any personal notes, if I could have them, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm getting there. Has everyone had a chance to record their presence? Donna? We have a few more that may need to be added. Yeah. Any others that need to be added? Donna? Any others that need to be added? All right. Is everyone included in the roll call now? Clerk will close the roll. Okay, we're ready for final action. The clerk will read the resolutions. And it will just be we'll take them all one at a time. The first one will be the only one read.
Silver-haired legislature resolution number 4200 as amended by Silver-Haired Legislative Committee, a resolution urging the legislature of the state of Kansas to establish a medical cannabis advisory board in order to explore and make recommendations regarding the expanded medical use of cannabis.
The rules state that we have a roll call vote on each resolution, but 2 resolutions can be voted on together if they have not been amended. We have 5 resolutions, 4 of which were amended, so we will have 5 roll call votes today. This constitutes final action on Resolution 4200. The clerk will call the roll.
Here again, this is on Resolution 4200 as revised. Sherry. Thomas. Elton. Jacques. Alfred. PSA 2, Leroy. Arnita. Michael. Donna, yes. Chuck. Gone. PSA 3. Pam Bolin is not on. Janice Schob is not on. Alan Schmidt. Steve Watts. Roseanne is not. Darlene's not. Alfred. Anne. Lois. Terry. PSA 4, Willard. Paula. Georgia. Dawn. Dawn did not come in? Okay. PSA 6, Steve Garton. Diane. Gail. Randy from PSA 6. Winona. She's excused. Gail Anderson. Sharon Lewis, are you on by Zoom? Stephanie. Jerome. Eloise, are you on by Zoom? PSA 7, Clarence. Ida. Lenora, are you on by Zoom?
Yes. Yes.
Is that your vote for 4200?
Yes.
Thank you. Regine. Dr. Jim. Melody, are you on by Zoom? Sherry. Yes, PSA 8. Jay. Barbara. Jan Kimbrell. Daryl. Ross. It's a vote for, thank you. Randall. Linda. PSA 9, Gil. Joyce Simpson, are you on by Zoom? Thank you. Anna Wilhelm, are you on by Zoom?
Yes, I vote aye.
Thank you. PSA 10, Boyd. Jeanette. Kurt Watkins, are you on by Zoom?
Yes. Aye.
Thank you. Jim. Shirley. Sharon. Leonard. PSA 11. Mary. Mary Penrose. That's your vote for 4,200? Thank you. Norman. Katie. Gary. Thank you. We have a unanimous vote for those that are present on 4,200. Thank you for counting. Okay. Jay's counting for me, so it's 50.
Has everyone had an opportunity to vote? Does any member desire to explain their vote? Does any member desire to change their vote? The clerk will record the vote. Resolution 4200 voted in 50 voted in favor of SHL Resolution 4200 and 0 having voted against. SHL Resolution 4200 having received a constitutional majority, it is hereby declared passed.
Thank you, Speaker.
All right. This constitutes final action on SHL Resolution 4201. The clerk will call the roll.
And there were no amendments on this resolution.
I'm sorry, you can read the resolution, the title, and I'm sorry.
Silver-haired Legislature Resolution number 4201, a resolution urging the legislature of the state of Kansas to support the expansion of Medicaid in Kansas, and there were no amendments made to it. Starting with PSA 1, Sherry Grogan. Thomas. Jacques. Alfred. PSA 2, Leroy. Arnita. Michael. Donna, I vote yes. Chuck. PSA 3, Alan. Steve. Alfred. Ann. Lois. Thank you. Terry. PSA 4, Willard. Paula. Georgia. PSA 6, Steve Garten. Diana. Gail. Randy. Winona by Zoom. Gail. Sharon Lewis by Zoom. Stephanie. Jerome. Eloise by Zoom. PSA 7, Clarence. Thank you. Ida. Lenora by Zoom.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Rogine. Dr. Jim. PSA 8, Sherry. Jay. Barbara. Jan. Daryl. Ross. Randall. Linda. Gil. PSA 9, Gil. Joyce Simpson by Zoom. Thank you. Anna Wilhelm by Zoom.
Yes, I vote aye.
Thank you. PSA 10, Boyd. Jeanette. Kurt Watkins by Zoom.
Aye.
Thank you. Jim, PSA 10 still. Shirley. Sharon. Leonard. Leonard Schufler. Thank you. PSA 11. Mary. Norman. Katie. Gary. This concludes, did everyone have am I reading your part? This concludes the roll call vote for Resolution 4201. It is unanimous. 50.
50. Has everyone had an opportunity to vote? Does any member desire to explain their vote? Does any member desire to change their vote? The clerk will record the vote.
Thank you.
50 having voted in favor of SHL Resolution 4201 and 0 having voted against SHL Resolution 4201 having received a constitutional majority, it is hereby declared passed.
Thank you.
Okay. This constitutes final action on SHL Resolution 4202. The clerk will call the roll.
Silver-haired legislation resolution number 4202, as amended by SHL Committee, a resolution urging the legislature of the state of Kansas to enact legislation converting CAPERS Tier 3 members to CAPERS Tier 2 and to provide for a cost of living adjustment. PSA 1, Sherry. Thomas. Jacques. Alfred. PSA 2, Leroy. Ornita. Michael. Donna, yes. Chuck. PSA 3, Alan. Steve. Alfred. Anne. Lois. Terry. PSA 4, Willard. Paula. Georgia. I'm sorry, that was a no vote? Thank you. PSA 6, Steve. Diana. Gail. Randy. Winona by Zoom. She's on, but she's not voting. Okay. Still PSA 6, Gail. Stephanie. PSA 7, Clarence. Ida. Regine. Dr. Jim. Melody by Zoom. PSA 8, Sherry. Jay. Barbara. Jan. Daryl. Ross. Randall. Linda. PSA 9, Gil. Joyce Simpson by Zoom. Thank you. Anna Wilhelm by Zoom.
Aye.
Thank you. PSA 10, Boyd. Jeanette. Kurt Watkins by Zoom.
Aye.
Thank you. Jim. Shirley. Sharon. Leonard. PSA 11, Mary Penrose. Norman. Katie. Gary. Thank you. That concludes my roll call vote of a 47 for, 3 against for resolution number 4202. The ayes have it.
Has everyone had an opportunity to vote? Does any member desire to explain their vote? Does any member desire to change their vote? The clerk will record the vote. 47 having voted in favor of SHL Resolution 4202 and 3 having voted against SHL Resolution 4202, having received a constitutional majority, it is hereby declared passed.
Thank you.
Before we go to the next resolution, I wanted to let everyone know that we have a copy of the final resolutions over here. There's 5 piles. Everyone should stop by there sometime before you leave the chamber and to take a set of the resolutions with you. Final action, the clerk will read the resolution.
Silver-haired legislation resolution number 4203 as amended by SHL Committee. A resolution urging the legislation of the state of Kansas to increase the current funding for the Kansas Senior Care Act to meet the rising cost of services and the growth of the aging population requiring those services while keeping current statutory eligibility requirements.
This constitutes final action on SHL Resolution 4203. The clerk will call the roll.
PSA 1, Sherry. Thomas. Jacques. Alfred. PSA 2, Leroy. Arnita. Michael. Donna, I vote yes. Chuck. PSA 3, Alan. Steve. Alfred. Still PSA 3, Ann. Lois. Terry. PSA 4, Willard. Paula. Georgia. Steve. PSA 6, Steve Burton. Diane. Gail. Randy. Gail. Stephanie. PSA 7, Clarence. Ida. Jim. PSA 8, Sherry. Jay. Barbara. Jan. Daryl. Ross. Randall. Linda. PSA 9, Gil. Joyce Simpson by Zoom. Thank you. Anna Wilhelm by Zoom.
Aye.
Thank you. PSA 10, Boyd. Jeanette. Kurt Watkins by Zoom for PSA 10.
Aye.
Thank you. Jim. Shirley. Sharon. Leonard. PSA 11. Mary. Penrose. Thank you. Norman. Katie. Gary. Speaker, this concludes the roll call vote. It is 54-0 against. We have a question?
Has everyone had an opportunity to vote? Does any member desire to explain their vote?
Excuse me, Speaker. With Winona by Zoom giving by text message, that now makes it 51-0. Because that's the first time she's voted.
51?
51. Let me do it, maybe make sure.
Does any member desire to change their vote? The clerk will record the vote. "51 having voted in favor of SHL Resolution 4203 and 0 having voted against SHL Resolution 4203 having received a constitutional majority, it is hereby declared passed." Final action. The clerk will read the resolution.
Silver-haired legislation resolution number 4204 as amended by SHL committee. A resolution urging the legislature of the state of Kansas to continue supporting and funding collaborative community-based transportation for senior citizens.
This constitutes final action on SHL Resolution 4204. The clerk will call the roll.
PSA 1, Sherry. Thomas. Jacques. Alfred. Leroy. Arnita. Michael. And I'm in PSA 2. Donna, I vote yes. Chuck. PSA 3, Alan. Steve. Alfred. PSA 3. We're voting on thank you. PSAs 3, Ann. Lois. Terry. PSA 4, Willard. Paula. Georgia. PSA 6, Steve. Diana. Gail. Terry, Randy, PSA 6. Winona by Zoom. Gail. Sharon Lewis by Zoom. Stephanie Becker. PSA 7, Clarence. Ida. Dr. Jim. Melody by Zoom. Sherry. PSA 8. Jay. Barbara. Jan. Daryl. Ross. Randall. Linda. PSA 9, Gil. Joyce Simpson by Zoom. Thank you. Anna Wilhelm by Zoom.
Aye.
Thank you. PSA 10, Boyd. Jeanette. Kurt Watkins by Zoom.
Aye.
Thank you. Jim, Shirley, Sharon, Leonard, PSA 11, Mary Penrose, Norman, Katie, Gary. Thank you. That concludes the roll call vote. It passes by 50-0, unanimous.
Has everyone had an opportunity to vote? Does any member desire to explain their vote? Does any member desire to change their vote? The clerk will record the vote. 50 having voted in favor of SHL Resolution 4204 and 0 having voted against SHL Resolution 4204 having received a constitutional majority, it is hereby declared passed.
Thank you, Speaker. And I have copies of the original starting resolution, the revised resolution, and the completed resolution that is not red or blue lined. Those will all be scanned in and emailed out once I sit down and start scanning everything in, so that those that are not here will have all the information. Thank you.
Thank you. And did you turn their mic off? You're done. You did a stellar job. I think Donna deserves it. That concludes the official portion of our work today. I applaud you for the diligent work we did, especially yesterday. I was very pleased with the committee work and the discussion and all of the testimony that provided us the information we needed to make decisions that are best for the seniors of the state of Kansas. I think this is a great body. I think you do good work, and from all accounts, you take the good work back to your counties and multiply it. And that's something that's very important for us to think about while we're preparing for the legislative session. There will be a lot of tough discussions in the legislature. These issues are common sense to us, but they're not common sense to the legislature. They need to be educated, and some of them more than others, of course, to understand the true value of the issues and the resolutions that we have, and to consider them seriously. And I think that some of the issues may surprise us. We may have favorable outcomes that we're not anticipating right now. So we'll just have to see. But we've done our job, and I appreciate all of your hard work. One thing that I was a little surprised that Donna didn't say is we need to gather up our name cards. You want us to take them to the back for you? Okay, you can, let's take them and put them on that back desk on the right-hand side as you walk out when you go, and then she did a good job of making them up, so we'll be able to use them again next session. And we have announcements at this time, and Paula is going to come to the well.
Good morning, everyone. First of all, before I even start, I want to thank Gail and David Anderson and Randy Altman and my wonderful husband, Willard, for all their help, and all of you who pitched in when I needed you. We could not do this without your support. Our receipts for the last 3 days came out to, we had $100 gift in memory of Franny Scrimshire, our former chair of PSA number 4. We had $662 in support donations from the various county commissioners and counties. We had a total of $1,647.65 for the silent auction. We had our portion of the 50-50 pot was $260.50. And for those of you who are wondering if the credit card thing was beneficial to add to our, Gail said, yes, it was. Okay. We took in $592 by using that credit card. And I want to thank Randy for that, because it was his brain that made it work. And Randy picked up any fees that were involved with using that credit card system. So in future years, if you're comfortable with doing that, it's very handy, and you can just have Randy take care of it for you. So that was something new we added. We didn't know how much interested, but for the first year, I think $592 is considerable. And then today I got an additional gift to the Nursing Scholarship Fund for $130. So our total receipts come out to $5,436.15. I think that's pretty good. If any of you need to order your badge, here is the information for that. We have copies, and I will give that to you. If you call her, she will send those directly to your house. And it has the prices, her contact information, or if you want to go by there on your way home today, you can do that. Okay, any questions of me? Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Paula. All right, next person on the list is Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Most of the things that I wanted to say have already been said. I just wanted to commend everyone that stepped up and made this 42nd annual session a very successful thing. I want to personally thank the first and second vice presidents. They stepped up in my absence and made these things happen. They coordinated things. That's what it goes when you have good leadership and you have good team working together, everybody unified, and we made it work. Immediately afterwards, I'd like to have the entire executive board and all the PSA chairs to assemble here at the podium so that we can take a unified picture and we can have it as part of our press release. We need to let the legislators know that we are a unified, nonpartisan party, and we do have a voice, and we're here to support them and not to be in opposition with them. So please join us here at the podium immediately after we've adjourned, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Thomas. Once again, on your way out the door, make a little loop and pick up a copy of the resolutions down here that the reviser has made for us so that you can have those as a reference for the 2025 session. Are there any other announcements? The chair recognizes floor leader Representative Leroy. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have one little announcement I want to go through. Everybody has asked and questioned. We had 5 resolutions that we talked about this year. We was approved in Salina, and we went through those. We also had some items that were talked that we were going to monitor. I want to bring that to your attention that we are monitoring those. I want you to monitor those also. We talked about mental health support. Anything that comes up with mental health within the legislature, we will be monitoring, and Randall and Chuck will be following. Voting rights will be another item that's still on our list. Property tax is still on our list. And anything for home support for seniors is still on our list. So we'll be monitoring those. You may get some notes, you may get some people that will ask questions about those. We are looking at them and we're trying to make things happen with those too, but those were not the ones that made our final cut. But I do appreciate all of those, and I appreciate my committee for the 3 committees that we had, the chairman, vice chair. You did a great job. Man, last year we had to pull them out of the committee because everybody was talking way too long. I don't know what you did, but you cracked the whip and everybody got out on time, and we had good resolutions that came through. So I thank you again. So, Mr. Speaker, I move that we adjourn this particular session and we re-adjourn to the next year in October of 2025 for the 43rd annual session.
You've heard the motion. All in favor say aye. Opposed? No. We are adjourned.